Hey everyone. There has been a lot of really positive reviews about the Gerber dime lately, and I wanted to offer a counterpoint to that because my personal experience with this multi-tool hasn't been as glowing as everybody else's. Now, obviously everybody's different. The things that I think are bad about this multi-tool, you may actually really enjoy. And hey, that's great. If I point some stuff out that for me is bad and for you is good, maybe I still helped you. So, with that in mind, let's talk about this thing. First of all, I have to say that the style is really, really great. I've had a lot of people compliment me on this multi-tool. They think that it's just pretty badass, and it does. It has a beefy, styled look to it that is undeniable, and I have to give it points for that. It comes in several different colors. Green was the only one available to me. I looked it up and I saw that there were a few others. Red, I believe silver as well. But really love the look of this. So I have to give Gerber points for that. That out of the way, let's actually talk about the meat of this thing, the tools, because whatever style you've got, not going to matter so much if the tool itself isn't so great. So let's start off with the good. I love this bottle opener. Great bottle opener. It's very rare to have one this thick on a multi-tool. Usually they're very thin, and this sucker just gets in there, pops tops off, no problem. So really love that. Another thing that I really love is the retail package opener. This is a great addition to a multi-tool of this size. I found that I used it quite frequently, actually, more so than the knife for opening up packages. Because of its design, it can really get in there and just cut enough without damaging the merchandise, and that's the point. So I really can't say enough good things about this. Great addition. After that, though, the tools start to go from good to, okay, they're all right. So let's start talking about those. First off, in that category of meh, is the blade. Blade's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. It has this a very unusual belly to it, and I'm not sure what the design choice was with that, and maybe it was purely design. I'm not sure, but can't really get behind it too much. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just personal preference. I thought it was a little odd. It is on the bottom of the multi-tool, so you get the use of the full blade length, which is great. So that's a good thing, but it's nothing that wowed me. Now let's talk about the main tool, the pliers. These are decent pliers. They aren't fantastic, but come on, it's a very small multi-tool. You can't expect a whole lot. It has this unusual tweezer tip. Many reviewers have pointed that out, so I don't think it's necessary to harp on it. I will say that I wish it didn't have the tweezer tip. I wish that it had the teeth going all the way to the end for a nice flat join, but your mileage may vary. It could be that that tweezer tip would actually be really handy in your situation. I don't know. Obviously, it opens up into a larger grab so that you can get a hold of nuts, so that's always good. One thing to note that I personally don't care for, you can see the spring on both sides there. I don't care for that very much. It feels cheap. Feels like that probably could have been closed off. There are other Gerber tools that have the spring assist inside there, but they're not exposed like that, and that just seems a little strange to me. There may be some method to the madness, but for me it seemed like a corner was cut. So again, your mileage may vary. I'm probably going to say that 100 times in this video, but that's just my feeling. Another point that I can't say anything good or bad about is the wire cutters. There's really nothing for me to say on that because I haven't used them. In an EDC setting, wire cutters just aren't something that I use really at all. So I'm not going to give that a pro or a con. I can't speak to that. So sorry, I can't help you with that one. Know that they're there. All right, so now let's talk about the things that I flat out didn't like about the Gerber dime. Let's talk about the flatheads. Here we go. Here's the first one. This is a stub. I mean, maybe for some people, a flathead this dinky is good. For me, not really. It's a lot of times you need more length than this, and this just is not adequate for the task that I put it through. So disappointing. At least it has a flathead, so maybe that's good enough for you. Now the second flathead is more problematic. Smaller tip, so at least you have options. You'll notice that there is no Phillips, it's just two flatheads. The real problem with this is the position of the amazing bottle opener. Because this opens up right next to it, you are effectively cutting the length of this in half. So something that's already really short just got even shorter, and that's kind of tragic. So that's a real bummer. I don't know what to say about that, because the bottle opener is outstanding. So I guess it came at a cost. Now, also on this, you'll notice the file. The file is, in a word, poo. It's totally useless. I've tried using it, just on nails even, and it's useless. It does nothing. I think that Gerber was really searching for a 10th tool to put on this, and somebody just decided at the 11th hour, let's throw some striations on one of the flatheads and call it a tool. And so there you go. Very, very disappointing. The next not so good are the tweezers. Nice that it had tweezers, but what I want you to take a look at is how these are attached. These are basically just two thin little pieces of metal that maybe have some glue or possibly a weld. It really looks more like glue, holding them together. Now I have a style CS, Leatherman style CS, and it has similar tweezers, except the end is a little bit tapered, rounded, and I was a little bit disappointed with them, and they broke with not particularly hard use. I have no doubt that the same thing is going to happen to these. So it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time before those go away. Then finally, the last thing that I really disliked are the scissors. I use scissors daily for lots of different things. When you have kids, there's always something to cut. That's not to say that there's kids to cut, but there's projects, or can you cut this thread, and blah 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 blah. There's always something, and then there's daily other uses for scissors, and these really aren't that great. You can see very shallow, very very shallow. It does have a tension rod, and so that's great. I love tension rods in multi-tools, much better than springs. So that's good, but it also didn't come sharp, or if it did, they're not very. See, ooh. Same thing with the blade. The blade's not particularly sharp either, and that's just disappointing. I know that may be a bit of a prima donna thing. Oh, my multi-tool must be absolutely razor sharp when I buy it, but you know what? I bought enough of them that are razor sharp right out of the box. That's kind of weird that this one wasn't. Now, the final point that I want to talk about is overall construction. The style is good, but you probably have seen that it kind of feels like some corners may have been cut with this. The striations on the file, very poor. The spring for the pliers being exposed, also not so great. The stubbiness of some of the tools, little odd. There's just an overall feeling of corners have been cut. And you know what? This tool is made in China, so I guess that can kind of be understood. Another point to be made is that the there's a lot of grinding that hasn't gone away despite me opening and closing this quite a bit. It's particularly noticeable when I open it. I can feel grinding, and that's worrisome. I don't know. There's just, like I said, there's an overall feeling of cheapness. Now, if this was the solo competitor in this space, I would say, oh well, deal with it. But let's face it, when there's other multi-tools out there at the similar price point of $20, Leatherman in particular really makes some outstanding multi-tools in this size. It's kind of disappointing. And so I can't fully recommend this. As a matter of fact, I'm most likely going to be returning this in the near future. So there's my take on it. I hope one way or the other I helped you out. And that's about it. Signing off.